Hi everyone, today I'll be solving the Winter 18 question paper 42 for IGCSE Mathematics code 0580. So I'll get into question 10b because this was part 2 was actually the part which was considered to be relatively difficult by certain candidates. So to start off, the first part is actually quite simple. We're given that this metal cone has a radius of 10 and a height of 36, and we have to calculate the volume. The volume of the cone is given to us. So we just have to substitute the values 1 by 3 to pi into r over here is 10, pi r square into h, which is 36. So the volume would be, I'm just going to calculate this on my calculator. Okay, so that's around 3769.9 centimeter cube, but I'm going to round it to the nearest, first four significant figures. That would be approximately, I'll just write it as 3770 centimeter cube. Okay, so if you use a Casio FX82 Plus calculator, this value you'll notice that this value can actually be noted as 1200 pi. So I like using these numbers more because they can give you the entire value more accurately than using the rounded values, because it can change your final answer a bit. And obviously, because these two questions are related, we're highly likely going to be asked to use this value in our next question. So I'm going to continue using 1200 pi in the following questions, but it's the same as using this value. It's up to you whether you want to constantly recalculate this to get the whole number and then apply it in the second part of the question, or if you want to use this, which is a lot simpler and it would save time. So I would recommend using that. Now, so for the second part, the cone is cut parallel to its base to give a smaller cone. So this is our smaller cone. The volume of the smaller cone is half the volume of the original cone. So the original cone was 1200. So half of 1200 pi divided by 2, that's 600 pi. 600 pi. So that's the volume of the smaller cone. Okay. Smaller cone is melted down to make two different spheres. Ratio of the radii of the two spheres is 1:2. Calculate the radius of the smaller sphere. And we're given that the volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube of a sphere. Okay. So we have this total volume to work with. I'll denote it as VT, as volume for the total, or the volume of the cone. And that volume is divided amongst two spheres of varying radii. So this one will have a radius of 1, and this one will have a radius of 2r, because the ratio of the radii have to be 1:2. And if this is r, that's basically 1r, and this is 2r. This is for the small and this is for the big. So the ratio of the radii from smallest to big will be 1:2. I hope this makes sense. So we have to calculate the radius of the smaller sphere, as in we have to calculate the value of r, because the smaller sphere has a radius of r. So now, obviously, because this whole cone, smaller cone, is going to be melted down, we have this entire volume which is divided amongst these two spheres, the smaller one and the bigger one. So the total volume of the addition of the smaller sphere and the bigger sphere will give us the volume of the cone. So essentially, the equation would be Vt is equal to Vs plus Vb, where S is for the smaller sphere and B is for the bigger sphere. So now we just have to put in our formulas with the respective values, and I will tell you guys a place where candidates normally lost marks, but hopefully you won't with the help of this tutorial. So the total volume is 600 pi, and the volume of the small sphere will be 4 by 3 pi r cube, and the bigger sphere it will be 4 by 3 pi r, which is 2r, and then cube, because over here the radius is 2r, so we have to put the entire 2r in the bracket and then cube that. So I'm not going to constantly write 600 pi. I'll just write it again at the end. And now I'm going to simplify this right-hand side of the equation. So 4 by 3 pi r cube is actually quite simple. It can't be simplified any further. But I will simplify this equation now. Plus 4 by 3 pi. Now, following the indices rules, if two variables that are being multiplied are raised to a power, the power will apply to both of them. So you end up getting a cube and b cube. So similarly, this is what's going to happen over here. It will be 2 cube and r cube. That's basically, 1 second, 4 by 3 pi. 2 cube is 8. So I write 8 over here, r cube. Now I can simplify this even more by multiplying 4 by 3 into 8. That's, okay, 1 second, I'll just write this part. 4 by 3 pi r cube plus 32 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, and now I can add these two. Okay, so I can add these two because see the variables that are being multiplied is pretty much the same thing. It's like 2a plus 3a, and that's 5a, right? But in this case, it's 4 by 3 pi r cube plus 32 by 3 pi r cube. So 4 by 3 plus 32 by 3 is 12. So 12 pi r cube is equal to our total volume, which was 600 pi. Okay, so now 600 pi divided by 12 pi will give me the r cube value. That's 50 pi is equal to r cube root of 50I is equal to r. Okay, so type that in the calculator, you get 3.68. That is your final answer. Now, if you wanted to, if you were asked, for example, to calculate the radius of the bigger sphere, because we know the radius of the bigger sphere has a value of 2r, we'd be doing 2 into 3.68. And I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any more questions, please leave them in the comments below, or if you require further explanation, go ahead and do so. Thank you.